So we're actually heading to our local makers market filled with creativity and lots of different artists. This happens once a month where we live, so we're really lucky we actually get to see this. But I take the kids on my own, hello, and we travel to the market. It's just a bit of a walk from our home, but we go to the centre of town and we have a little look at what all the makers have got going on this month. Sometimes the markets can be a little bit hit and miss. This month seems to be a lot quieter stall-wise. There wasn't a lot that was there that was different for us to look at. Hello. There was a couple, says hello. There was only a couple of new people, but it was very, very sparse. Usually that market is a lot more full with stalls. It was busy people-wise. They were just all starting to come in. We missed the rush, luckily. But it wasn't as busy. I do admit I do miss my Filipino sticker markets and print markets and artist markets. Oh, I loved them so much. I'm going to try and display some of the stickers and some of the prints that we got from the Philippines when we were doing the sticker cons, hopefully soon, and pop them up on the walls, because I don't want them to just sit in a box forever and ever and not be on display. But I do admit the Philippine markets far outweigh the kind of English ones at the moment. I feel like the Philippine markets are definitely a lot more accessible. They're on a lot more often, and also they're a lot more affordable. If you want to get affordable art from people, it's a lot better option wise. Here in England they mark them up quite high, so it's very, very expensive to buy like a one-off piece from an artist. But yeah, we really enjoyed it. We do this every Sunday, and we've got a few little goodies I will show you when we get back.
Halloween, 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 Halloween.
We've also been taking advantage of our local library, which we tend to try and visit at least once a week. The kids did like the summer reading challenge, so we got that done as well, and they really enjoyed it, and they won some medals and some certificates. Hey baby. But we usually come here once a week and we renew some books, and they take out some new ones. It's like a little day trip out for us. Because we don't have Kev with us during the weekends, I've got to really try and think of new things to keep the kids entertained. And one way of keeping them creative and keeping their minds open is through reading, and I really try and encourage that with them all the time. We've just come back from the market, and we usually 90% all of the time visit the Cardarelli's bakery. Cardarelli's looks like that. If you're in the Norfolk area and there's a market going on and you spot these girls, get their brownies. They are incredible. They're a little bit pricey, but they are absolutely delicious. We picked up like a chocolate and white chocolate brookie or a blondie brownie thing, and then we also got the cornflake brownie, which is one of our favourites, and the Snickers brownie, which is the Snickers one is gluten-free, but it doesn't taste like it, so delish. But that's usually what we do when we head down to the market, is pick up some delightfulness from the girls at the brownie stall. Yeah, and I also pick one up for Kev as well. But yeah, they are delicious. If you're ever in this area, pick them up, they're great. Today is Wednesday, and it's one of the rare occasions in the week, where we actually don't have the kids with us, and we actually have time together, which, if you don't know, which you probably don't, we haven't had in quite a couple of years at least. So we are actually heading off today to go to this like really cool craft and furniture emporium, which I found out through another YouTuber who does like she's like a knitting channel, so completely irrelevant to our channel, but she's really, really cool and I really like watching her, and she's from Norfolk. So we're heading there today. They've got furniture as well, so maybe we might find some little gems, but they also have like a really big craft area, like fabric and yarn and stuff, and we just wanted to go and check it out. So we're heading over there. It's about an hour away from where we live, so it's a nice little road trip early in the morning. It's very, very cold outside. Winter is definitely on its way. It's October now. So yeah, we're heading over there and we'll see what it's all about. Hopefully it's good, and if not, it's a nice day out together, isn't it? Yes. Kev hasn't been on the last vlog because he's always at work now. So Wednesdays is our time together, and if you ever see him in a vlog, it's probably on a Wednesday. So we just got back from our little date today. We ended up having like a little snacky date situation after we went to the craft and furniture emporium, but I did pick a few things up from there. If you are really into like your crafts and making things, this is a really, really cool place because you can pick up like secondhand craft materials for literally so little. To start with, I did get a few things for work. I needed an address book, some folders or plastic folders, and a binder, which I did pick up. All of this was really ridiculously cheap. So the binder was 40p, the plastic folders were 50p, and the address book was 60p. And I only need them for work, so I wasn't precious about what they looked like. I just need them for my documents and stuff like that, so I got those. But on the other side of things, in the more craftier area of the world, I did pick up a little bit of stuff. I have quite a creative mind, and I'm always super stimulated when it comes to creative projects, and right now at the moment I'm currently going for a bit of a crochet phase again. So I actually got this massive cone. It's kind of like a cone shape. So I don't actually know what the fibre itself is, but it's really interesting and textured, and there's a lot of it, which means that if I did want to do a project using mostly the same colour or texture, then I have that here. So that was really nice. For a project I want to make for Elowen, I picked up these 2 balls of navy yarn. Hopefully that's enough. I actually want to make her a jumper from one of their favourite films called Coraline. It's like a kind of horror children's film. It's quite scary, but they love watching it, and I really wanted to make her the little star jumper from Coraline. And because this hasn't got any, like the jumper in Coraline is like glittery, so what I bought was this kind of threading thing. I think it's like plastic, like polyester thread, and it's glittery and it's kind of gold, so that when you pick up on your hook the navy yarn and this together, it will kind of intertwine and it will look really shimmery. Hopefully it won't be too itchy, but it's not too bad. And then I got some silver or grey yarn, which I'm also going to then combine with the gold to make some stars, because if you don't know the film, it's a navy blue jumper with silver stars on it, and I thought that'd be really cute. And then I just got a couple more interesting yarns. I got these pink ones with colours in them, and it's kind of like wavy. I don't know if you can see that. I really like different textures, and I also love it when there's more than one colour in there, like a tweed or a, yeah, I don't really know. I'm still not like 100% on all the specific yarn names. Sorry, my brain is just not coping today very well, but right. So yeah, and then I got this, a pack of 4 pink ones, so that if I did want to make something that was specifically pink, I could kind of make something together, or like the green and the pink really go well together, or I have other yarn as well, so I'm sure I can find a project. But it's really good to kind of stash some yarn if you find some really interesting ones at a really good price, to stash it and kind of save it for something that you are interested in making in the future. And lastly, we also went to one of the toy shops here in the UK. If you didn't know, it is slowly, gradually getting to Christmas. When we were in the Philippines, Christmas actually starts in September. Here in the UK, it's gradually kind of closing in around. There's more and more Christmassy things in the shops, and you can kind of start buying stuff for Christmas, and it's not complete without a catalogue. So we got 3 so that they don't fight, and then they can kind of pick out what they want. We don't always get everything on the list, but we need to start thinking about Christmas. This was one of the tops, or this is a top that I've actually started, and I'm almost finished one piece of it. So it's kind of like this really interesting, scrappy, stripy, blocked, colourful, like vest jumper thing. So I've done one side. It needs to be like a little bit longer on this side, and then once this is done, I'm going to make one exactly the same, sew the tops of the sleeves together and the sides, and then hopefully it will be done. It's supposed to be more of a summery thing, but it could go over like a t-shirt in the winter or a dress. I'm not sure yet. But yeah, I've been making this and it's taking me absolutely ages, but that's because I'm really, really slow at crochet. But that's because my mind's always buzzing and I'm always kind of all over the show in terms of what I've been kind of like crafting and doing recently. But this is what I've been doing, and hopefully it will be finished at some point. And lastly, I got a few more kind of girly things, which I don't usually talk about on the channel, but why the hell not? We're going in a completely different direction now with Wistl Family Adventures, so I'm going to kind of throw stuff at the wall and see what sticks. But I have been into the wild natural deodorants, and I needed a new one, so I got Jasmine and Mandarin, which if you're interested, smells a bit more like, I was hoping you could smell more of the mandarin in it, but you can, the jasmine's a little bit more overpowering, so it smells a little bit more old, kind of older generation smell. But yeah, I need a new one because I had the pomegranate and pink peppercorn, which is very, very nice, very fruity, which I really liked. And now I'm kind of moving on to a new scent, but I'm not sure I like the scent of this one. They do have a new one called that, I think it's like amber and oud, which is, I suppose, more like a smoky scent, which I'm really interested in, but they didn't have it in the store. So I went with that one, but regretting it slightly. And then I also got a new hydrating serum, because if you're interested in my skincare routine, I have been trying to avoid hyaluronic acid. For one, I feel like it's like the biggest marketing scam ever, because for me, this might not be for everyone. For me, it dries my skin out really badly, and I've been trying to find a hydrating water-based serum that hasn't got it in there, and that's very difficult. So I did get the Bioma one, which you can pick up from Boots here in the UK, and it's got squalene, glycerin, and a triceramide complex. Nowhere does it say that it has, I mean, I'm going to be really mad if it does. Nowhere does it say it has hyaluronic acid. So Kev's been called in to have a meeting at work. So whilst he's gone and I'm waiting for the kids to come home, I have a few other kind of crafty projects I've been working on alongside kind of the crochet side of things. That's more like a kind of side project. My main kind of projects recently have been all kind of house related. We started with absolutely nothing. We sold all of our belongings back before we left for the Philippines. We only kept like a very small select few trinkets and things that meant a lot to us, obviously, like wedding photos, baby pictures, baby clothes, kind of sentimental stuff stayed, obviously, and a few things that I kind of couldn't let go of, luckily. But everything else we've kind of pulled together from nothing. As I said, most of the furniture you can kind of see around you, including the sofas, the telly. I just got a TV stand. Everything behind me as well is all secondhand. But where I can't kind of find it secondhand, I will make it instead. So what I have got is this, and I don't know if you've kind of seen these around. They're kind of very like Urban Outfitters, but it's one of like these kind of like clay, like European, I don't know if these are like Spanish style or something like that, but basically there's like a massive craze at the moment for kind of shelving things like this. So the point of this was to pop all the pieces of coral and stones and shells that we've collected over the years. I've got some from the Philippines, I've got some from the Caribbean, I've got some from England, and I kind of wanted to display them in a way that I haven't before. This is literally a cardboard box. It's a cardboard box, I think it's like Amazon, and I literally just kind of cut out the shapes, stuck them in, and then molded the paper clay. This isn't proper clay, this is paper clay, but as you can hear, it's absolutely solid. But it also doesn't weigh anything. So I discovered paper clay a couple of months ago and I love it. It's really easy. It's just shredded paper that you boil in hot water overnight. Obviously you don't keep it boiling, you just add boiling water to a bunch of shredded paper, leave it overnight, blend it up in the morning, strain it and add some glue, and then you've got paper clay, and it looks a little bit like this in the tub. Sorry, this is like my massive obsession that I've kind of been going through recently. So it looks like this when it's wet. It stinks a bit, but that's because I've had this for quite a while. Probably shouldn't leave it in the tub for too long. I've also made like a frame out of it. I wanted one of those really cool wavy frames. They're really trendy at the moment, but they are very expensive to own and purchase. So I made one myself. This isn't going to have glass in it because obviously to find a pane of glass to fit in a frame that you've made is a bit tricky. However, this isn't, I don't particularly need glass because this is more of a piece of art than a framed picture. And if you haven't tuned into our channel before, back when we went to the Philippines, we went to a lot of the sticker cons, and they all had like really cool, interesting artwork and stickers. I have a lot of prints that I'm going to pop up in the kids' bedroom, but I also have a load of stickers and I don't know what to do with them because I feel like it's a waste to pop them on things that I'm then not going to keep. So I've got a massive sheet of art paper and this frame, and I'm going to paint them and essentially display the stickers, and then that's going to go up literally behind there where our record player is. But I'm just going to kind of continue with the legs because that's all it needs doing on this one, and I'm going to chat a little bit about like what it's been like to come home after 10 months of traveling and things that we've learned from that experience and things that we've taken away that we also want to kind of put into our day-to-day lives. And that is one of the biggest things, is to do things for ourselves. I think before we left for the Philippines we were definitely existing and not living. I think we were just riding through the motions of work, bills, normality, you know, all the things that kind of wear you down, and that's probably why we, you know, ended up taking the chance on a trip that we did. And like, especially with Kev, he doesn't have anything he really enjoys doing. But then we went out to the Philippines and he fell in love, and we both really enjoyed it there, and he loved snorkeling and things like that. And I said to him, like, when we get back, the one thing that I think is really important to do is to have something to do, have a hobby, have a creative passion, live creatively. And that can be in any sense. It doesn't have to be like necessarily like art. Being creative, you can do that in many different forms. And he's really kind of taken on gardening, and he really loves it, so that's really good to see. But we've both kind of kept that promise since coming home to do things we really want to do, and not so much always doing things you have to do. I mean, obviously you have to do some things like pay the bills and get the food shopping in and get the kids off to school and go to work. Obviously all those things are have-tos, but around that time, like instead of just like watching telly or just sitting inside, just to kind of fill the time and the space with things that you really want to do. Obviously I'm a lot more creative in sense of like art and designing stuff and making things. I've always loved doing that, but it's really, really exciting to finally see him coming back and actually really loving something. So he's like really obsessed over the garden and the lawn, and he mows the lawn like constantly. And when we got here, the lawn was covered in moss, and we've since got rid of the moss and regrown the grass, so now it looks really, really luscious and green and beautiful, and it's just really nice to see. But yeah, since coming back, it's definitely been really nice to keep some promises, because it's really easy to get kind of swamped with normality again, and I think it really hit us in the face like, oh, you know, we're just back to what we were doing before. And it's really easy to get into that negative mind space. But I think what's important is to kind of step back and be like, well, those 10 months haven't disappeared just because we're not there anymore. They're always going to be in our memories, and we're always going to be able to treasure them and look back and remember what we learnt from those experiences, as well as why we did it, and also how we want to live our lives in the future. Like, we want to visit more places now, and we're going to make a conscious effort to be able to do that. Whereas before, we hadn't really had many family holidays. We definitely only ever went on holiday as a family like twice. And I think now we're looking back, we're like, oh my god, we have such a passion for new places now, and for looking into like having more experiences. We definitely want to kind of keep that going. So fingers crossed we'll be able to see more of the world at some point, and make it a kind of yearly goal to put that money and energy into having a holiday, and obviously have new experiences from that. We want to seriously look at things in a much more positive light and in a much more creative way. Like, how can we make our lives more special? How can we make life look more beautiful for us? How can we kind of inject some fun into every day? And how can we add and pepper in some, you know, adventures or some really exciting moments for us as a family around the normality? Obviously normality has to happen, but it can also swallow you up a little bit, and you can kind of get bogged down and forget that life is for living. So Kev actually got a little bit of an exciting announcement. He got a promotion. If you didn't know, we are both back in full-time work, and Kev is a chef. If you want to see a little bit of his cooking, I will link some videos down below. It's quite amusing. But he got a little promotion. So he's taking us to his favourite fish and chip place here in Sheringham, which is right by the coast. Hopefully I can get a few clips of the seaside for you. But yeah, it's his favourite place. We're going to enjoy a family meal of his favourite fish and chips to kind of celebrate for him.
There's the fish and that's the crab.
I want sausage.
Sausage is here, sausage and chips.
So I want sausage and chips.
Yeah, and then you can have some squash.
Yeah? Really love like a spot. Sorry, the kids are like struggling with the stones. I love a spontaneous trip out, especially to the beaches. As I mentioned in our last vlog, we're really, really lucky to have this only probably about 10-15 minutes away from where we live. And if you didn't know, we love the beach and it's our happy spot. And this is our slice of life now. So we're very, very grateful and happy for it.
And you can go snorkeling. As you all might know, I like snorkeling.
Apparently, yeah. Apparently you can go snorkeling, but if you know anything about English weather or the English sea, you need a bit of courage to get in there because it's freezing. What one do you think? That one?